Why not? Use a microphone. Maybe?
You don't need one.
I don't know. So I want to thank everybody. It's my brother's birthday this Saturday. He has a big a party, and I was coming out for this party. And my book was released last month, so it's like, well, how can I come to Los Angeles and not do things? So lucky, you need to have friends in high places. So my really good friend Terry Feinstein, whose husband Donnie Massing is the cantor here as of July, right, of this year, and a wonderful son Jonathan. I lost my good New York neighbors from upstate New York and my block and West 75th Street, but they moved out here in July, and then hooked up with Stephanie, who had just read the book and said, we really have a lot of events planned, but I loved it and I want to do it, and thank you so very much, because it's nice. It's really nice for me, and thank you, Stacy. So, you know, this book is based on assumptions, the Shiksa syndrome, and I will not make the assumption that everyone in the room even knows what the word means, okay? So, this is Shiksa, the dictionary definition. Noun, Yiddish. 1, a non-Jewish woman. 2, a quintessential blonde beauty. 3, the polar opposite of the quintessential Jewish mother. 4, a type of woman who instills deep longing in short, dark, swarthy Jewish men. 5, a Jewish boy's dream. 6, a Jewish girl's nightmare. So, the origin of this book, to some extent, was born when I lived here in Los Angeles. I moved out with a bunch of friends, and I'm not going to do that.
Keep going.
What? Just keep going. You know me, and then I'm going to go back. It'll be like another thing. Since I've come to LA, I can't work anything. This will be like another thing I have to learn how to do. So I'm going to skip it. So I was living out here. My friend Ellen came out and brought me into a writers group that Susan Merson, who's a member of this synagogue, works at and leads. And I coined the phrase Shiksa syndrome. I was having dates out here with some of the identical men that I had dated in New York, and everybody moved out. I was acting, and everybody moved out to do their careers, to break into television, et cetera, et cetera. And I would be with these guys in New York, and I was doing a lot of TV commercials, and I played Burger King girls, you know, all the counter girls in commercials, and people would say it was very cute, and I seemed as if I was from Pennsylvania. And that would be very nice, and it'd be like, oh, she's cute, the Shiksa, which was always a compliment. It was a compliment, like the Shiksa. And then I came here, and suddenly it was as if I was wearing like a neon sign that said New York Jew. I really think a lot of it has to do with New York, even more than, let's say, Jewish, because New York is a breed and a place unto itself. But it was very strange, I thought, you know, that if I put a piece of Yiddish in my you know, in a conversation, or I don't know, like, it'd say things. Even the other night, I had a date with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and we walked in my apartment to walk my dog, and so these are all assumptions that people make. And I said, we just had dinner, I said, you know, I have some strawberries. If you want some cookies or anything like that, we could stop. And he said, don't be so Jewish. So out here, you know, I kind of thought, gee, so that's a Jewish thing. But would somebody say, don't be so Italian? And so there are all of these assumptions that happen, and they keep people separate. And so when I was out here and I would notice this, I would think, this guy maybe has like a bissel Shiksa syndrome, a little Shiksa syndrome. And I started to write about it, and then I wrote a 4-page essay that turned into a short story that turned into the arc of my first novel, You Have to Kiss a Lot of Frogs, and that was based on this actress, 15 years of bad dates in the life of this single Jewish actress, Carrie Klein. And when it came to this third book, because she continued A Good Frog, when it came, and my friend was a prototype for a character, and not a frog, though, just a friend. There's a big division. Friend or frog. And when I came time to writing another book, my agent had said to me, what do you want to write? And I said, such a pity. I use Shiksa syndrome in You Have to Kiss a Lot of Frogs as the art, because it would have made a great standalone piece. And she said to me, do it. Do it. I said, how am I going to do it? She says, it's very easy. You just keep the same premise. A girl, this is the premise for anyone who doesn't know, a Jewish girl pretends to be a shiksa to catch a Jewish guy. So it was just, use that and make up a whole new story and a whole new character. And I thought, oh my God, I can't do that. How am I going to do that? And I couldn't think, and then I did. But when I got into it more and more, I thought, what kind of a girl, besides an actress, would pretend to do this? And there's a certain amount of fantasy in this book where you just stretch, because the girl goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Her name is Amy Albert, and she digs herself into this lie, which happens quite accidentally, to the point of no return until the bottom falls out. So I can understand an actress doing it. Not that I would do anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But I can understand. But I've been working in PR these last handful of years, and I started to think about branding. And back to the assumptions. I thought, people buy brands. People see things. Now, this girl is not what every non-Jewish woman looks like. The closest person who looks like this in this room is my cousin Eileen, and she's Jewish. I know, on both sides. I know her parents. Okay? But to me, this girl represents a girl that I would want to be. I think a girl that maybe everybody wants to be. Okay, that's probably not true. That's a big assumption. But this is, to me, the California girl. It's the American blonde. We don't even know what her face looks like. But there's something to me that's very exciting, very enticing, and she's the quintessential shiksa goddess. So in so many plays and stuff, like you take the original Heartbreak Kid, do you know that, right, with Charles Grodin? Now, nobody said Jewish, although if you watch carefully, when he marries Jeannie Berlin, in the very first scene, he is wearing a yarmulke. And I think they break the glass in that first scene. And then that's the end of it. She's portrayed, poor Jeannie Berlin, who's such a great actress, as this awful, nasal, whining, annoying, horrible, and they get married, and she and Charles Grodin drive all the way down to Miami, where she kvetches, and you, as the audience, I mean, maybe that's what they had to do to this Jewish woman to make her somewhat, so you could buy that he would want to get away from her. But he meets Sybil Shepherd on the beach, and Sybil Shepherd is this girl, right? That's who she is. So I would say that when you say the Shiksa syndrome, I was pitching this book to Shape magazine last week, and I told this editor the title of the book. And she laughed, and I said, and I knew her name, and I said, oh, you get it? Do you know what a shiksa is? She said, I sure do. A shiksa is a very attractive blonde woman who likes Jewish men. Now, a lot of them do. So it's very funny. In the reviews, it's very different for me in a way. I can't believe it's 8 weeks into this release of this book, but there are more and more things that have come up, as I learn about the book through other people and readers. So, like, Daily News wrote a review, and they said, Shiksa with a Gentile touch. And that was a very nice thing. Then there was a woman on a publisher's weekly blog who wrote a review, and she loved it. And said, well, she didn't even know what the word shiksa meant when she got the book. But, well, for anyone here, there's this great glossary in the back with many, many, many words that I had,